Welcome back, friends. I'm Burke with Shared Science in Long Beach, California, where creative kids dive into STEM fun. This is Lesson 4 of Python Bytes, where you'll learn about lists, proper sorting, and the range command. You should have completed Lessons 0 through 3 before you continue. Still here? Good. The answer to Lesson 3's homework challenge is in the comments of this video. If you haven't already, open Replit in your browser. By the end of Lesson 3, you had learned about indentation, automatic variable typing, comparisons using if, and forcing an integer value using int. Yeesh, that was a whole bunch of stuff. Before we launch into lists, let's have a brief look at an easier way to count loops. Your first while loop used the variable x to count. You can type this in now if you want, or just watch for a minute. You set the variable to 0, and then you tested it in a while statement while x is less than 10, and then you incremented it. You added 1 each time it went through the loop while printing hello world with the number in front of it. So this is easy to understand, but there are much easier ways to accomplish the same thing. I'm going to comment out this whole while statement. You can do 3 quotes before and after to comment out a whole block of text. Did you guys know that already? All right, here's what we're going to type. The range function. It's going to be much more compact, much easier to change. We're going to comment out the whole while thing. We got it done. On a new line, we're going to type in 4x in range, and then open parentheses, 1, 10, 1. And then a colon at the end of the line, just like with our while loop. Press return, we're automatically indented, and we're going to print x. There, we're done. Now, let's see what happens. Great! So, what we've done is the work of 3 lines of code from the while list in a single expression using the range function. Now, the first number is the start value. In this case, it's 1. You start counting from 1. The second number is the stop value. Notice, however, that we didn't stop at 10. We stopped at 9. And that's because Python does a less than evaluation with the range command. And then the final value is the increment number or the step number. So we're going to count from 1 to 10 in increments of 1. Change that 1 to a 2, and you can see, oops, as we run it, that you'll count by 2s instead. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Now, the cool thing about this, in addition to taking up much less space, is you can change it very simply. Let's change the 1 to a 10, the 10 to a 1, and the 2 to a -1. And what do you think will happen? We count down from the start number to the stop number by increments of -1. And again, if you'd like to actually get the 1 in there, you can just change that to 0. There you go. Okay, you can do more of this later. We're going to switch over to lists, and let's open up a new Replit for you, and I'm going to let you look at the one that I started for me. So what's a list? A list is just a set of things, usually numbers or words. Try this. In your new Replit, type in fruit equals, and then notice it's a bracket, not parentheses, and not a curly bracket, regular straight bracket. And then a list of things. Each one is in quotes, apples, comma, oranges, comma, pears, comma, etc. They're all separated by commas, and there's another bracket at the end of the list. If you need to pause for a minute, so that you can catch up. That's fine. Just come on back when you're ready. Now, you've got your first list. What can you do with it? Well, you can print your list. Let's run this guy and see how we do. There it is. Now, it's not the prettiest thing in the world. Here's a trick for taking out all of that stuff. Put an asterisk before the name of the list, and we'll run it again. There we go. Apples, oranges, pears, grapes, bananas, snozberries. So, what else can you do? You can get an item from your list. Print, fruit, and then open bracket, 1, and there we go. Let's run it, and what do you think's going to happen? There we go. Oranges. What's up with that? Oranges is the second item in the list, but Python usually starts counting from 0. So it's our second item, but it's item number 1. Get it? Apples is item number 0. All right, you can also get the length, the number of items on your list. We're going to print, open parentheses, L-E-N, excuse me, and then fruit, oops, close parentheses, close parentheses. What happens when we print this? We get our list, we get the first item. Remember, we printed out the first item number 1, I should say, and then we get the length, which is the number of items or members in this list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we are. Now, you can add an item. Let's see. We're going to type fruit dot insert, open parentheses, 5, comma, meatballs. And I'm going to copy and paste our print fruit. Control C, Control V, and there we go. Let's run it. Apples, oranges, pears, grapes, bananas, meatballs, snozberries. How many items is it? We're going to cut and paste our length and see that it's 7 items now. Meatballs is right there. You can also remove items the same way. So we'll do fruit.remove, fruit.remove, and you can either specify the item's location in the list or just the name of it. So, meatballs. Oops. Meatballs. And then let's copy the length of the list again. Copy, paste, and then we'll print the whole list again. And we'll run it. What do we get here? Here's our initial list. Here's item number 1. The length of that list is 6. We add an additional item, meatballs, and it comes up to 7. Here's that list printed out. We remove the meatballs, and it's back down to 6. And here we are back at the same original list. All right, this is all pretty fun, but there are other things you can do that I think that you will appreciate even more. You can sort your lists. Oh my, how you can sort. Type this in, fruit.sort, and then open and close parentheses. Now, we're going to print fruit again. Let's just copy and paste it like we did before. Copy, paste, and we're going to run it. Aha! Notice the last line. Your list is now sorted in alphabetical order. This is pretty cool. If you are using strings, they'll typically be in alphabetical order from A to Z. If you're using numbers, it'll sort them in ascending order from 0 to whatever is the highest. Now, you can also print by length of item. So we're going to type in fruit.sort, and then in the parentheses, we're going to type key equals length. And then we'll print fruit again. It's already in my buffer, so I'm just going to paste it again. And let's run it. Aha! Now your list is sorted by the length of the items. Pears is the smallest, and snozberries is the largest. One more thing. You can replace key.length with reverse equals true. Make sure you do a capital letter and a lowercase UE. See how true has turned blue? And then we're going to print it. Aha! Snozberries, pears, oranges, grapes, bananas, apples. That's in backwards alphabetical order. Well, that's it for lesson 4. You have created your first list in Python. You learned how to sort your list in multiple ways. For homework, write a program that asks the user for 5 numbers, puts them into a list, then sorts smallest to largest and prints them. Remember that the input command doesn't automatically save values as numbers. You'll have to use the int function to convert them. We'll go over a solution together in the next lesson. Next time we'll cover files, opening, reading, and writing data for permanent storage on your hard drive. Thanks for hanging with Shared Science. Tune in again for more creative engineering fun. Hey, I told you that I didn't want that.